Hi all. So I wanted to post these couple quick tips for getting good quality sessions, good quality in terms of audio and visual, just so that if you can get good quality audio and visual, then you can focus more on the actual content of your sessions and connection with your clients instead of worrying about the other stuff that I just mentioned. So I'm going to share with you a couple basic things that will hopefully help you feel like you've got some foundations. The first is I recommend using these things, or the bigger ones if you have them. Can't remember what they're called right now. You know what I'm talking about, these ones. And the reason is, one is for privacy, if you're not the only person who's using your office or home space. And the second reason is because it actually reduces the feedback, because if you're just talking to a client like this, they can actually hear their own voice coming back through the screen, and it's really distracting. So when you're talking to clients, use headphones, and that helps. The other reason is with these little Apple ones, they have a built-in microphone right here. I didn't know that until a few months ago. So when you're talking, it's going to pick up your voice a lot better than if you're just using the built-in microphone through your computer, and your voice is going to come through clearer. So I've been mostly using that microphone, which is going to be better than the one in my computer. That's my second tip. Using that microphone. Now, starting today, I'm actually using this microphone because it turns out that it's been on my desk and I just hadn't thought to use it because normally I use it for podcasting. I'm assuming that most of you don't have a podcasting mic, but if you ask someone who lives in your house, they might actually have a plug-in mic or an external mic that you can use. You never know. And if you do ask around, and you can just plug it in directly to your computer, super easy, put it on your desk, it'll give you better sound quality than this, and definitely better sound quality than just using the built-in microphone on your laptop. So that's a nice and easy fix. And if you have a computer friend that can help you set up, it's not that hard. It's just going into the settings on your computer and making sure that the input is set to the right thing. But that'll make it easier to hear you nice and clear as if you're right there with the client. So tip number 1 is using headphones. Tip number 2 is using a little bit better microphone, which can be super cheap and easy, and just even as simple as this one. The tip number 3 would be making sure that you're set up to the computer in a way that isn't distracting. So typically what I see is that people set up kind of like, I'm going to do it, this, which gives an angle of like kind of looking up my nose and seeing my ceiling, which is not appealing. So what I'm going to encourage is having your laptop looking straight out, which you can see now. I need to lower my chair. If you don't have a fancy lower chair, the other way to do it is obviously to put something under your laptop, like a box, so you can lift it up, and then it's the right height. So you want your laptop to be facing directly at you, and that when you're sitting back in your chair and comfortable, that it's kind of got your face in the center there, nice and level, so the client doesn't have to see up your nose. And then the other thing I was thinking about in terms of angle was just making sure that when you're all set up, the client's also not looking like, I don't know if I can really do it, but out a window. It's not looking super well right now, but I'd eventually get backlit and their eyes might start to hurt. There, you can see it a little bit, like it's flickering on the screen. It's not going to look super good either. So you want light to be on your face. a nice well-lit room without the client having to look with the light directly behind them. The last thing that I started playing with today that I might encourage you to think about would be basically helping yourself not be distracted in the session by looking at your own face. So I've been doing video counseling for years, and I never noticed how distracted I got by seeing myself on screen. And just little things like fixing my hair while I was talking to a client, just kind of unconsciously. So in order to help myself be as present as I would be with a client in session, I decided to put one of these over my own face, and that way when I'm talking to them, I'm not looking at me, I'm looking at them. And that seemed to help a lot. So your clients can do that too. Some of them find it really distracting to look at themselves. They can choose to also do the same thing, and that might help them to be a little bit more present as well. So as much as I'm being mindful about how I'm showing up and where I'm showing up, I'm encouraging clients to do the same thing. Now, here's something I forgot to mention about just the distance. When I was talking about angle, I also forgot to mention the distance to the computer. You can see I'm sitting a little bit further back. I noticed that when I first started doing this a little bit more a few weeks ago, I was sitting about this close. So you could really get my head in the picture and I could see the client's eyes more. But I started to find that it was a little bit intense, taking in all their stuff, and it was closer than we would normally sit in real life. So as I'm sitting back more, I find that I can take in the room a little bit more, that I can see a bit more of their body if they're also sitting back, and they can see more of mine. So I'd encourage you to play with that. And if you're a body-centered therapist, you might notice for yourself what works best for you. You might be encouraging your clients to notice for themselves the space that works best for them in terms of where you're sitting, where they're sitting. You can have a lot of fun with it in terms of that kind of stuff. So, in fact, all of this stuff could be stuff that you play with your clients. What's it like to allow yourself to arrive, to kind of set things up in a way that's most comfortable for you so that you're free of distractions. What's it like to get into connection together in this way? What's the distance between us that works really well? How do we connect with each other in the best way through this new medium? So I've really liked kind of noticing that, noticing the best way that I can sit and be together with people in a way that's connecting but also grounded. So hope that helps a little bit. Food for thought. That's all I got for now.